This video is sponsored by Surfshark. More on them later. Holy cow, it's E3 season! How is it that time already? Well, actually no, because E3 is cancelled this year because last year was just that terrible. And definitely not because apparently coronavirus is bad enough at the moment for there not to be even a virtual event like in 2021. Yeah, all sounds a bit fishy, but as Morgan Freeman once said, life finds a way. And so even though there's no E3 in 2022, we've had, or are due to have, depending on when this video goes up, a series of online showcases that function like a more fragmented version of E3. It's a useful time for speculators like me since we end up with more information than we know what to do with, but it's especially handy because this is where there's usually some news about a Sonic game, and how about that? That sure looks like a new Sonic game to me, and doesn't it look great? Doesn't it fill you with so much hope and optimism for the months to come that Sonic Team will find a way to grace Sega's flagship franchise with another classic game for the ages? Okay, listen, I'm sure some people feel like that, but I wasn't alone in being severely underwhelmed by the two trailers we got for Sonic Frontiers, and I wish I was surprised because, frankly, we've done this dance too often in the past. Sega have a new idea for Sonic and it just doesn't get far off the ground. So today, because I'm bored and I don't have much else to do, we're going to unpack the last couple of decades of Sonic games, work out where it went wrong and how we can make it go right in the future. I think about the future a lot these days, and while I can be hopeful for what might be waiting down the line for Sonic, I have to be cautiously aware of the dangers that we must all pay attention to with online security, but thanks to today's sponsor Surfshark, you needn't worry anymore. VPNs like Surfshark let you connect to servers all across the globe, with Surfshark in particular having over 3,200 servers spread across 95 countries, so you can access international streaming libraries and watch, say, Japanese Netflix and fill up on the all-you-can-eat anime buffet. Plus, I should mention that there's some more serious applications since online security is more important than ever these days, and Surfshark can help secure your data with industry-leading measures by using uncrackable encryption and the best VPN protocols around, so you can join public Wi-Fi safe in the knowledge that your personal data is being kept nice and safe. Surfshark is super easy to install and can run on unlimited devices from a single subscription, so you can safely do all your interneting on a massive number of different platforms, and with a 30-day money-back guarantee and 24/7 live customer support, that is a ton of good stuff. You can go to surfshark.deals/RabbidLuigi and enter the promo code RabbidLuigi for 83% off and 3 extra months for free. That link is also in this video's description if you really don't fancy typing all of that out. Secure your connection now with Surfshark. Anyway, it's Sonic time, baby! The only place we can start is with Sonic Frontiers, and there's actually a few layers to how you can approach these trailers. Before we get into anything juicy though, it's definitely worth remembering that a lot of the judgment of Frontiers in this video is based off of trailers of an unfinished product, and as always, the trailers do not represent a finished product. If this game comes out later this year and proves every doubter wrong as a Game of the Year contender, not only will I admit that I was wrong, I'll be happy that I was wrong. You need to understand that I say what I say from a place of love and respect for Sonic games, and I'm just trying to be helpful rather than loud. With that out of the way, holy shit does this game look rough. Yeah, I'm sure it will look at least a little bit better by the time Sonic Team are finished with it, but as it is right now, the state it is in right now as a way of generating a positive first impression, oh boy are we wide of the mark. Sega chose to show the world what Sonic Frontiers could do through the lens of an IGN exclusive trailer that is clearly trying to show off the many different ways that Sonic can interact with this open world environment, but ends up feeling more like a proof of concept tech demo than anything more substantial. There's this bizarre blending of styles going on as cartoony Sonic speeds through this realistic looking world that has had his usual catalogue of ramps and rails stapled to it. There have been obvious comparisons with The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, but if that's what Sonic Team were going for, there's a significant lack of soul in this world that is only exacerbated by all of these video gamey obstacles. Like, you're trying to make a playground for Sonic here, and all I see is a pretty lifeless, more open version of what we've already seen before. Even the rollout itself is super weird, giving the exclusive over to IGN as a way of using their established audience, but in a way that weirdly moves attention away from the official YouTube channel. You know, the place where future updates will probably go? I don't know, everything about this feels weird and underwhelming and disappointing, and yet not particularly surprising. It's clear as day that Sonic has had some problems over the last 20 years, and Sonic Team haven't exactly moved heaven and earth to do much about them. To tell you the truth, Sonic Frontiers being this mediocre, undercooked 3D adventure is kind of a past score as far as Sonic has been recently, and in a way, I'm kinda glad that there aren't too many glaring faults on show here. It seems like every recent 3D Sonic game has gone through a similar cycle of showing early promise, followed by a trailer that dampens expectations by a pretty big amount, and then a succession of smaller announcements that coincide with the haunting realization that Sonic is in for another deflated balloon of a video game. We've done this so many times now that it's honestly getting a little old, seeing all the early promise of the latest Sonic game erode away to nothing over time. And hey, I'll be the first in line for some humble pie if Sonic Frontiers slaps, but history is not on its side. Finding a bad Sonic game is like hitting water while standing on a boat. They're so commonplace that as far as 3D games go, there's probably more bad games than there are good. That's debatable, depending on how you feel about the likes of Sonic Adventure and the hairier parts of Sonic Unleashed, but I do think it's a little eye-opening that there hasn't really been that knockout 3D Sonic game. You know, that Sonic game that got everything so right that other games can use it as a template for sequels and follow-ups. There have been highlights for sure, but whether Sonic Team didn't think they were high enough or wanted each game to stand out with its own gimmick, there haven't been too many Sonic games that have built on what came before. For me, that's the through line with a lot of Sonic's failures. Yeah, sure, you can blame some of the more chaotic dev cycles for squirting out barely functional monstrosities, but you wonder what the last 20 years would look like if Sega had held their ground and consolidated their position with, say, Sonic Heroes or the Sonic Adventure games. Like, Sonic Adventure 1 was a bit rough, but then they made a sequel and it was really good, so yeah, that's kind of where you need to go. Not saying that we need more of those particular style of games, but changing the style and gimmick every 5 years means that you're not allowing yourself any time to refine the rough edges. It may be an unfair comparison, but when you look at what Mario has done with how its 3D games have progressed, even if the gimmick has changed, the actual guts of the game have been updated and polished, and now we have Super Mario Odyssey that feels like such a wonderful blend of new ideas layered on top of a really solid foundation. Sonic Frontiers would work better if the foundations of Sonic gameplay were more confident, but they haven't been allowed time to cook. It's ambitious for sure, but it's suffering from the sins of what's come before. It's like trying to run with a broken leg. Which is actually in direct contrast to where Sonic is as a brand right now. The 3D games may be on uncertain ground right now, but that's not to say that there aren't things to love about Sonic. The 2D games are enjoying a resurgence, the likes of which you could never have predicted 15 years ago, and actually, it speaks to the confidence with which these games are being made. Sonic Mania was a landmark title that showed that this classic style still has a home on modern consoles, and that Sonic can still rake in massive review scores. It was a return to form that was obviously well overdue, but a hopeful reminder that Sonic can and should be hitting these highs more regularly. Sega clearly paid attention, since Sonic Origins is due out in about a week, and that is a remastered collection of 4 classic Sonic games with widescreen support that looks to celebrate the franchise's wonderful history. A celebration of the good side of Sonic, because there is a lot of that out there. Especially now that Paramount are having fun creating their own film franchise of Sonic, and after a start so inauspicious that a 3D character had to be remodeled, these 2 movies have done some massive numbers and are already the highest grossing films based on video games. The possibility of Sonic being a mainstay of 21st century culture for the right reasons, unrelated to anything that may happen on Twitter.com, is completely viable, and given the history of this franchise, you can argue that it's very long overdue. Other franchises like Final Fantasy have gone through a similar journey of self-discovery, but are doing kind of amazing right now. Given the amount of time that Sonic has been floundering around for a foothold, it should have found something by now. Am I being unreasonable for expecting that? Like, Sonic Team have made huge mistakes in the past, but surely we're getting to the stage where lessons are being learned and we can use these slip-ups as a bouncing off point for knowing what not to do with Sonic. He's actually clawing back a pretty decent reputation from a few different avenues, and it makes me realise the wonderful potential that Sonic has if the 3D games could get their act together. However, the question remains, how the hell do we fix Sonic? So many different talented people have taken a stab at it from numerous angles with, at best, temporary success, but is there a way to prop up Sonic for longer? Is there a video game that we can make that propels Sonic forward in such a way that bringing up the likes of Sonic 06 or Sonic Boom then comes across as incredibly petty? Well, I think that's a little too ambitious, but I think it's worth digging deep into what works well with the best 3D and especially the best 2D platformers. Yeah, remember that Sonic is a platformer at the end of the day, and this should obviously be the focus, but what is the biggest draw of a Sonic game? It's not platforming, really, is it? Speed? It's speed, isn't it? Yeah? He talks a lot about going fast and getting the boost so he can go fast, and going so fast that it's like a knockoff X-Men scene, but actually, fucking no. Yes, speed is important to Sonic, but I don't think it should ever be the final say on the matter. Plenty of games in the past have been a little too fast for their own good, and the 2D has demonstrated how much fun you can have by slowing down the gameplay. No, I think the answer lies with momentum, which an entry-level physics class will tell you is different to speed but intrinsically linked. I won't deny that it is absolutely a ton of fun to go fast in a Sonic game, but many previous games have diluted the sensation of speed through the filter of a cutscene, where you hold down one button and are automatically zipped through all the obstacles. Speed is nice, but maintaining momentum through a tricky level that requires you to be on top form is far more satisfying, and you basically need game design that funnels you in this direction. With something like Sonic Forces being more open world, you need a method of traversing the landscape that is enjoyable and creatively implemented, instead of just holding down a button and waiting. I was actually pondering all of this a few days before I was due to start making this video, and I went for a shower, and I am not lying to you when I say that I had the biggest breakthrough. What we need as a society is a Sonic game that plays a bit like a Tony Hawk game. Now seriously, come with me on this one because it's the best idea anyone's ever had. Fucking give him a skateboard, I don't care! Sonic is a stylish boy with a too cool for school attitude that was forged in the fire of the 90s and has been mostly maintained through his animations and mannerisms. My concept is that you introduce a more arcade style to standard Sonic gameplay and have it so that you can string together actions like combos, obviously going in one or a couple of forward directions, with the player being rewarded for maintaining momentum and keeping their streak up. Not entirely sure what the reward could be for playing so well, since I don't think you could copy Tony Hawk's point system or even retain the letter ranks from standard Sonic games, since I don't care. Maybe more momentum increases a style rank like from Devil May Cry, and there's certain paths and shortcuts that you can only reach when you're working that smoking sexy style. Is this a hypothetical Sonic game that draws from Tony Hawk and Devil May Cry? Yeah, it fucking is, and maybe it'd be pretty decent and thematically fitting, but I think Sonic Frontiers is coming too soon. I mean, obviously that game is mostly made now, but after all, my Sonic May Hawk game isn't even the main event. It's the game that comes after that irons out all the issues. So maybe, moving away from my fantasy and back into that world we call reality, we can write off Sonic Frontiers, but maybe something special is coming after? Or more Werehog. We can't rule that one out either.